SmackDown returned to form this week, opening with Sasha Banks not overusing Roman Reigns and actually making us feel like they had a tag division on both the men's and women's side. I'm Tom Colohue, I'm going to break down SmackDown for you today. Please remember to click like and subscribe for more reviews like this. SmackDown opened this week with Bianca Belair and Sasha Banks backstage, playing up to the very false feeling dynamic between the two of any sort of issue. There is tension between them, but it has been so heavily faked. Sasha Banks did start the show in a wrestling match with Nia Jax, which was a real departure from previous SmackDowns, which have always been opened with a promo, and Sasha Banks has always been in the second hour draw segment. That didn't happen this week. Instead, other people are in that segment, and Sasha Banks opened it by wrestling. It felt different, it felt new, in a way that WWE actually manages when they don't open in the same format every single time. Nia Jax of course had no chance of winning the championship this close to Fast Lane, and she didn't after an altercation with Bianca Belair and Shayna Baszler, resulting in Baszler running into the ring for no reason, kicking Nia Jax for no reason, in the attempt to run away from Bianca Belair for no reason. It was really confusing. Later in the night, Shayna Baszler and Bianca Belair would go one-on-one, but the match lasted less than a minute after Natalya and Tamina ran in and attacked them with no sign of Sasha Banks or Nia Jax to help. Suddenly it looks like we might actually have a tag division coming out of this. At least this was the beginning of a build towards whatever they plan at WrestleMania. Seth Rollins made his entrance and was an absolute nightmare, leaning back to his first World Championship run where he was a seedy, really unlikable heel. This was very good. There was no sign of Cesaro this week, however his interests were protected by Shinsuke Nakamura, who came down, cut a 2-word promo and beat the hell out of Seth. This is now a match that is happening at Fast Lane, and it is the first thing that's actually made me interested in Fast Lane in a while. The Street Profits lost a tag team match to Dominic and Rey Mysterio. This seemed like it would shake things up adequately, and Dolph Ziggler and Robert Roode, who were on commentary, were alluding to that. However, the Mysterios were then attacked by Otis and Chad Gable. Another match happened, with the winners now taking on Otis and Gable, and in this time Otis managed to beat Rey Mysterio, ensuring that their team won. This essentially means that the whole tag division has been shaken up, because the Street Profits, the obvious number one contenders, have lost, and then the team that beat them have lost, meaning that we have 4 teams suddenly interested in those tag team championships. This went a long way to repairing a lot of the damage that's been done to the tag division, but I don't feel it went far enough. Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens ran into each other backstage, and Sami invited Kevin Owens to come down to ringside for his match with Baron Corbin and essentially see if he could see the drama and the conspiracies that Sami Zayn saw. He didn't, and in fact Baron Corbin beat Sami Zayn in about 2 minutes. Baron Corbin continued to be very heavily protected. However, Sami Zayn immediately after this match attacked Kevin Owens at ringside, literally kicking him in the head in a move that looked very damaging. I have no issue with more Sami Zayn and Kevin Owens. It's been about 4 years since their last match, and I'm ready for more. We opened the second hour with an extremely good promo from Daniel Bryan. He was interrupted by Roman Reigns, but there was no attack that took place in this. It was just a promo, and a very powerful one because nobody came to blows. Daniel Bryan really highlighted the idea of making Roman Reigns tap out, Roman Reigns essentially saying that will never happen. What I think is going to happen at Fastlane is that Daniel Bryan is going to force Roman Reigns to tap out. However, the officials will not catch it, and Edge will be forced to count the 1, 2, 3 for Roman Reigns. Slight spoiler for what happened later in the night there. Big E and Apollo Crews engaged in a promo off backstage in different parts of the arena. As you might expect, whenever this happens, it ended up in a physical altercation, where Big E essentially drove a buggy around, got out of it, beat up Apollo Crews, and then Apollo Crews got in the buggy and left. Strange, but there's only so much you can do right now for these particular two. The heat is already there, so you gotta let them go. Finally, in our main event, Edge triumphed over Jey Uso, clean as a whistle. Edge started off being very carefully used, a very soft ring step bump, a very soft table bump, but over the course of it became more and more involved. A Hurricane Rana from the top, a Samoan drop, and eventually a spear that put down Jey Uso for the 1, 2, 3. Immediately afterwards, Roman Reigns arrived, hit a much stronger spear, as always, on Edge, putting him down. He called Daniel Bryan into the ring. Daniel Bryan was one of many people who were on the announce desk tonight, And essentially, just before Daniel Bryan got into the ring, he was attacked by Jey Uso, allowing Roman to hit the spear. Roman Reigns, as you might expect going into Fast Lane, stood tall with the Universal Championship. This was a huge return to form for SmackDown, a real improvement on the last 2 weeks of shows, and more than anything, actually managed to deliver some hype for Fastlane. I'll be doing a full watch along starting 9 PM UK time, that's 5 PM EST and 2 PM PST on Twitch for anyone who wants to join me there. But Fastlane has certainly been a lot more interesting now that they have added the Shinsuke Nakamura-Seth Rollins match, and in fact a rematch between Matt Riddle and Mustafa Ali to the card. SmackDown delivered this week with quality promos. The wrestling quality took a little bit of a dip, but we also saw more build towards WrestleMania, particularly when it came to Zayn and Owens, and whatever is going to happen with Reginald, who wasn't here this week. Let me know what you thought of SmackDown down in the comments. Please remember to click like, as this really helps this channel grow, and subscribe if you haven't. I've been Tom Colohue, and thank you very much for watching.